Welcome to a special edition of Crawford County Outdoors. I'm Duane Koller and joined by Crash, which you folks might remember meeting him once before. Also Mike Fisher. Mike, welcome back. We haven't talked in a while here on our Crawford County Outdoors, but
pleasure to be back.
We're talking about Crash and of course his brother Luke that lives at your house. And so I'm going to actually let Crash down here and run around here at the studio so he can make some friends here. But we're going to talk about our experiences with training young dogs here, and we'll see both Crash and Luke in some of the video that we have here.
The ups and downs.
So Crash, here we go. You can go make some friends there. So there we go. Okay. All right. I'm sure he'll be coming back and forth as we talk a little bit. So when you and I talked before, Luke was the pup, and we were kind of training a little bit, and we got some video of, I think, of one of his very first times out hunting, if I remember right, out at the Chase's Flying Frenzy.
That's right.
A little over a year ago.
He was about around 6 months at that time. And
Crash and Luke are brothers.
They are.
Same mother, same dad, a year apart. It litters a year apart. And I think when the folks saw Crash before at the Antlers and Anglers show, he was just a little nub, and Jim Karlovic was over with some other dogs and doing a little training session for folks, and actually training for us the reminders of us to what we need to do to train our own dogs. But we appreciate Jim's help with that. But I think Crash is coming along pretty well, and thinking back on that trip we had out to the Flying Frenzy, I guess that was about a year and a half ago. Jack was there, Cooper was there, and Luke was the young pup. And now I'm sad to say Jack and
Cooper are
gone
with us anymore, but unfortunately. But
it's been kind of fun. Been kind of fun to break in some young ones with that, and tell a little bit about Luke and kind of what you went through with maybe picking him out of the litter and some of the first training with that, and then maybe we can show some of the video of both of our young guys here.
Well, and of course we both got our dogs from Jim, and going over there, I took my wife, and basically she had the last say, I guess. Because really we both agreed that it was going to be part of our family first, and a pet. And he does sleep in the house and so forth. So that was number one priority. It was going to be a good companion. And I think we made a good choice. The temperament of Luke and of course of Crash is just great. They fit right in with our other animals and of course my other members of my family. And Luke is pretty much going like Cooper in that he's a mama's boy when he's home, and that's okay. And he's coming along. I never had a problem with him wanting to take to hunting. Jim breeds some great dogs, and they all have good noses. And so that was the easy part. The hard part is housebreaking, of course, and we had our trials and tribulations with that, but once we got past that, we started with the basic commands, and he's Luke's taken to that. I've noticed that Crash is very responsive, and it stays close to you, and that's what I've seen in the field now. So.
Now the first video that we have, and I think we can show some of that now. Crash's very first time out with a real live bird, and I was concerned that we not start blazing away with shotguns right off the bat. And we released a quail, if you recall, right. And you followed with the camera, and I had a blank gun and shot a couple blanks whenever he got onto that quail. He didn't even flinch. It didn't bother him in the least. So we tried him out that day, and now mostly Luke was doing the work and Crash was observing. But again, the guns going off and finding some birds didn't seem to bother him at all. But that was an interesting day. We had a number of pheasants out there and the quail. I think we had some chuckers out that day also.
We did. And I think it helps a little bit when you take with a little bit more experienced dog. Of course, I was able to have Luke's first season with Cooper, and Cooper always hunted close to me, and that was a good thing. Now. Luke's is a little bit different in stature than Crash. Luke has a little bit more longer legs. Kind of looks more like a jackrabbit than most springers. Are a little bit squatty and so forth. And probably Luke is the fastest springer that I've ever seen, and that's both good and bad. But just working with him, he's getting better all the time, and he's starting to take hand signals. I'm very pleased about that. But he just has the enthusiasm, to stay out there with you. And of course, our last trip to Scattergun Reserve, You know, it was just great. I mean, we got a break in the weather.
January thaw. Didn't last long.
No, it didn't.
But we had a great trip out to the Scattergun, thanks to Eric and his wife Karen. In fact, Karen became our cameraman for that day, so we want to throw a big thank you out to her.
Ride, yeah.
She sure did. She was a trooper on that whole thing.
She was.
And boy, we had birds going every which way. Both Luke and Crash were getting into them there.
It really was a great day, and that's probably the most the most birds that I guess that my dog's encountered in an afternoon. So he got a lot of work that day, and Crash did too. You know, and you know what's funny? Of course, Crash is still growing. What, 7 months
old.
You know, and we hit that. You know, that high straw, and you know, Luke was jumping over it, and Crash was going under it. So the birds didn't have a chance.
Well, I think Crash and Luke are going to make a pretty good partnership there.
I think we're going to have, you know, a good 10 or 12 years ahead of us that we can look forward to some good hunting companions.
Now, as Luke, you know, Crash doesn't seem to be as fast, or well, I guess that's yet to be determined. He as you said, he wants to stay real close to me, which is a plus. One, I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time, you know, where'd he go? Where's, you know, keeping track of him. But I know whenever Jack first came around, and Jack and Cooper together, Jack was a little bit kind of more like Luke, and Cooper was more like Crash, and that one worked a little further out and one worked a little closer. So the two in combination, I think, will be pretty good.
Right. And you know, one of the things that I've been working, and fortunately, Luke listens to me, you know, but I mean, when he's on a dead run away, and you know, and then, you know, I've been working with a little bit with the whistle on him there, but generally my command is back, and he generally turns and comes back, and then starts his zigzag pattern back to you. So, you know, it's working out, and you know, we've talked about, you know, we're not training, you know, dogs to compete in field trials and that type of thing. You know, we enjoy bird hunting, and as long as the dog works within our parameters and does what we want to do.
He wants to get a close up, so I gotta get him up. Okay, you want to get your close up for the camera? Okay, there we go. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah.
You just want to be in the action.
Yeah.
Okay.
He wants to be close to his dad, so.
He looks like he likes you pretty good too,
well,
there, Mike.
He probably smells Luke on me, so.
You know, one thing I wanted to mention too is both Chase's, the Flying Frenzy, and with Scattergun, their season starts early. Their season goes late.
September through April.
Through April. So you know, I would encourage folks to, if you have a young dog, get out and take advantage of those things. I know at Scattergun they have a bunch of different packages, which we've been out there for a couple things here with our Crawford County Outdoors series, but hadn't tried any of the bird hunting out there. And boy, I was really impressed.
Not only the birds, you know, then we contracted, and Scattergun had someone put the birds out for us, but there were a number of birds out in the field. And which was nice, unexpected, and you know, in real hunting conditions and so forth. So
great for the young dogs to get out on birds, no matter what the circumstance. And they had a lot of chance to work this past Saturday.
Yeah.
So now I also wanted to mention one other hunt that we have on video. I had gone out and purchased some birds from Brian Chase and released them myself at the Game Lands, and my neighbor John Koller, who's I think he's 14 or 15 years old. John went along with me, and we've got some video of that of a Crash working for John and I, and we were able to get some birds going. So
John's going to be quite a hunter. I think
he's really enjoying it. Yeah, he's really enjoying it.
About it. He he observes safety. You know. When we go out and
we all had a chance to be at the Game Lands a few times.
I think the bug has bit him, and so, you know, it wouldn't surprise me if he's asking for a bird dog at some point for Christmas or whatever.
He's already working on recipes, and he's really enjoying it, like you said, Mike. But I mean, both I guess for the hunters, but mostly for the dogs. It's great to extend that season as long as you can to give them plenty of opportunities to work on real birds. And I'm real pleased with Crash. You never know. A new dog comes along, and you know what's their personality going to be like, and what's their energy level going to be like, and what's their natural instinct going to be like, and I couldn't be more pleased. He's doing a great job so far as a young guy.
I've just watched him, and I know that you're working on him with these retrieves, and you know he's a natural. There's no doubt about that. But you know, one of the things that I think that really helped us this year is when we first started, when the pheasant season opened, a lot more birds this year.
Yeah.
You know, so it looks like the Game Commission is putting out stocking more birds, and I guess that the Game Commission has gotten more money from the rights for drilling and so forth. So it's going there. So, you know, it's getting close to the numbers where we used to see a number of years ago.
both going to a preserve and going out to the game lands or whatever. I'm all about giving the dogs as much chance over over a long stretch of a season as we can. So I'm looking forward to getting a few more trips.
If Luke or if Crash is anything like Luke, I mean, you got to get him out and get rid of some of that of that energy.
My wife, I'm sure, like everybody, said, "Why don't you take this dog out and get isn't it time for you to go out for a hunting trip?" That's kind of a fun thing for us out there to get a chance.
Absolutely.
Sure, we can go out and take another hunting trip. Yeah, there's always room for that.
It's great exercise. It just works well all the way around. So bring home a few birds for the pot.
That's the bonus. That's the bonus part of that. In fact, shortly, our celebrity chef Lisa Beck is going to be joining us and going to be working on a nice
her in
recipe.
Action already, so I'm looking forward to what she's going to cook up for us today.
Well, I've got a bunch of videos, some of which, by the way, taking video when you're hunting yourself. That trip that we had out with Brian Chase, I was running the camera for a while. You were running the camera for a while. I tried to attach the camera to me for a while and ended up just kind of putting it away. So we got a little bit of video from that trip. My daughter Kaylee, and I certainly want to say a big thanks to her. She ran the video camera when John and I went out on a hunt here several weeks back, and then Karen, of course, from the Scattergun Reserve, ran the camera for us that day. So thankfully, we've got a lot of friends around that can help us with that. But we have, I think, a fair bit of video that folks can see, and we'll enjoy seeing the dogs work together and their different styles. But one thing for those who are thinking about a dog, I'm a big fan of the Springer Spaniel, and I know you are too.
Absolutely.
They've got an energy level that doesn't quit just on hunting days. So you need to sort of plan for that. If you're in a real small house or you don't have room for them to run on a sort of convenient daily basis, that's something to think about. But I wouldn't change my breed choice on that at all. We have several dogs at the house, and they all get along pretty well, but there's an energy level with Crash, and then the other dogs are about here, and you've probably experienced that too at your house.
We hunted the first opening day. My friend Mark came up with us. He had 2 pointers, and we hunt in some pretty tough stuff. And of course, I've followed you. You got me into this. I don't know how many years ago. Gosh, I've been in Meadville now 21 years, and it was shortly after
probably pretty close to that whenever we got started.
And I thought they were called swamp chickens because that's where you constantly were. We're in the swamp, so I have to almost wear hip boots when I'm out with you. But I like the Flushing dog, and because we're in a lot of thick stuff that you never see that pointing dog at times, although there's times when we're not going to be able to get to that flush, I think that the number of birds that we push are going to be more than what I've seen with pointing dogs. So
there's some strategy in that too.
And of course, our shooting.
Well, yeah, the shooting was less than perfect this year. And that'll never show up in the video though. Like we only have perfect shots every time on the video. So
they all go down in the video.
Those bad shots accidentally got deleted whenever I was editing that video. So my brother joined us last year when we were talking about.
What a gorgeous dog!
And his dog is a German Wirehair Pointer, and that dog's doing great. And where they hunt, they have open, kind of open. It actually would be more like the scattergun, more open fields and places like that to work. And the pointing dog works great in those kind of situations. And I think you're right. I agree with you. In the sort of more brushy, swampy, tangly places where the birds hide after they've been out there for a while, I think these guys work the best. I don't know if there's
be more pleased.
100%, 100% right answer for any of that. But I wouldn't change. I enjoy working with the Flushing dogs, and they certainly are fun to be around. So
they are. I'm thoroughly happy with our choice, and like you say, we're going to have some good years ahead of us. So.
And I'm actually looking forward to when we come back to get busy on a recipe here with Chef Lee.
Sounds good to me.